For today's video, I am going to go through how I plan an endurance season. So it is the end of 2021 and I am ready to start planning 2022. Like, I know with horses that planning sometimes is a futile effort and they change plans regularly, but having a plan, some form of structure, really motivates me, really keeps my head in the game. I feel like I have a lot more I don't know, like I'm much calmer, less anxious about things when I plan and think things through. Also, it's always good to have a plan B, C, D, X, Y, Z, fly by the seat of your pants plan, go with the flow plan. If you've got horses, you know that plan A very rarely happens. However, today's video is going to be about me planning my plan A. So if you're here in 2022 in kind of the 2023 planning video and plan A happened, please everyone give a whoop whoop. Okay, so the essentials. EGB literally this week released their provisional ride schedule. So this might still change and the rides aren't up on their website yet, so you only get this if you're a member. But year on year, most rides are around the same time and they tend to be more or less what the provisional ride schedule says. So I printed that off. Normally I do it on like a tablet and then write it, but for the sake of this video, I printed it off. Then I print many copies of these out because usually I make a few mistakes, so having a few handy is great. I get these, they're free off calendarpedia.co.uk. These are my favourite ones. I've used this exact version of it every year for probably over a decade. So yeah, we've got many of those. And then the essentials, highlighters and a pen. So without further ado, let's get planning. So first things first, I like to go through the calendar and things that are already in my diary, work stuff, family stuff, holidays, things like that. So I go through and put all of those dates in first because obviously I'm not going to be able to ride on those dates, and sometimes if I'm away for a long period of time, I can't train in that period of time, so I don't want rides to be directly after when I'm away. So let's start with, I am working as a physio for the Team UK Invictus, so I've got a few weekends with them and I'm going to the Invictus Games around Easter time with them, so we'll put that in first. Invictus. I've actually got my other diary up in front, so if I look like I'm glancing all the time, it's because my other diary is up here, because there is absolutely not a hope on this planet that I would remember all my dates. So Invictus. That is all the dates in that I will not be able to be around to ride or compete, and I am allocating, because it's my least favourite colour in my pack, all those times in a pink, because it's so much easier to look at things when they're highlighted and it's extra fun if you're nerdy like me. Okay, so once I've put my other commitments in the schedule, I like to have a goal for each year, like a main event that I'm cycling all my training periods towards and is kind of like the peak of my season, something to like really look forward to and prepare for. And it has two purposes really. The first purpose is to keep me motivated, make every season like something a bit special. There's a bit of fluff floating there. Make every season a little bit special, and just, you know, when I've got something bigger to aim for, it really keeps me going, especially when I'm on like plan C. But also because my long-term goal is to compete for GB again on a championship team. The championships are normally between like August, end of September, October. So when it comes to that time, I will be prepping all year for a championship. And it's the championship that matters, not the rides in the run-up. So I kind of feel like that, and I prep like that from the start, from the novice season, to get into the groove, so that when it comes to it, that's how I've already been training and how I've already been preparing my seasons. So this year, well actually no, because it's still 2021. Next year, as you know, or may not know, Rue, who is on loan to me, I'm very lucky to have him for next season and hopefully seasons to come, but he is still a novice, so he's done one novice ride. So our goal is to upgrade him to advanced, but also our main goal is to hopefully put ourselves up for selection and get selected for the Welsh team for the Home International. Now, the Home International is a really cool way of getting team experience, getting kind of really into endurance and into the endurance community and learning loads, because we have like a national championship. So there's Wales, Ireland, Scotland and England, and you can literally be a novice in your first season, or you can be an international FEI endurance rider and get on the team, because there are spaces all the way from 40k up to 160, and it's a really lovely way of kind of getting the endurance community together, getting experience on a team, and I think it's a great experience for riders and horses and crew. So this year I am going to see if I can get on the Welsh team to do the Home International. So what I need to do is put that date in and then I work backwards. So the Home International is in September, so 9th of September, Home International that weekend. Let's put little stars. So once I've got the main event in, I then work backwards. I like there to be kind of anything between 4 to 6 weeks between every competition that I do. And that's because I think, one, there's compulsory rest periods in endurance. Two, I think I need enough time to sort out any issues I had in the previous competition before going into the next one. Three, it gives enough rest time, prep time, and all of that. And four, I just can't afford to do lots of competitions really close together. So spacing that out between 4 to 6 weeks means that I usually have at least one payday between every competition. So if I want to, so Rue is novice now, so next year he needs to do 2 more 40Ks, and I'd like him to do one 80K in a day and one 2-day 80 kilometre in a day. I'm hoping the Home International will be either his 1 80 kilometre or 2-day 80 kilometre. So I need to plan at least 2 40Ks into kind of the season before. I also like to put in kind of like a few plan B rides in there, and I might try and get a 2-day 80 in before the Home International, just because to show that he can do it, to make our chances of selection a little bit higher. So let's work back. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to be looking at a ride anywhere between kind of the 6th of August and the 20th of August. So let's have a little look at the ride schedule. So then when I have a look at the rides around that date, I try and look for the ones that are closest to me, sometimes ones that I've known well, if I've got a horse that needs to get the qualifications rather than I'm going for fun or for a specific reason that I want to try a new ride, because rides that I know that the horse is going to suit and things, and if it's for a qualification rather than for just training, then I'd like to make it as easy as possible for that horse to succeed. So in August, let's have a look. Okay, the Longmynd. So that's not far from me. It's run by the Heart of England group. I think it's actually on the border in Wales, and that's on the 6th of August, so that will really work. It's also worth noting that I've actually had this sheet says like whether there are pleasure rides, so the little stars on here tells you what kind of distances are on at each ride. So Longmynd, and that gives us 6 weeks from that ride to prep for the Home International. So excellent. Second one in. And then I just repeat that process. So I work 4 to 6 weeks back, have a look at the schedule, see what is available. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then Cirencester. I really like Cirencester. I go there quite regularly. It's a really nice ride, very variable, and it's actually quite a nice venue to kind of practice being at a bigger venue without so much hype. So Siren Sister will be a really good one. That might be a nice one to do his first 2-day 80k at, so we might earmark that for that. Okay, 4 Mark Reservoir, that's quite near us, so we'll go for that. Saves me money, it's not as much travel time for the horses, so I don't have to stay over and stuff. Like, I do love going to rides that are like over a weekend that we have to travel to, and I think it's really important, especially if your goal is championships, to do at least that a couple of times a year where the horse is travelling a little bit further, is staying away and stuff, because it's really good practice for a championship. But I would only do that a couple of times a year, and that is purely down to cost and annual leave. So I only have to, well, I say only, I think it's actually pretty good, more or less average for the UK. I get 28 days annual leave a year, and most endurance rides in the UK are on a Saturday. And I don't, if it's further afield than kind of 2 hours, then I don't want to travel 2 or 3 hours, it depends on the horse really, then I don't, and the distance that I'm doing, I don't want to travel the same day as the ride, so I'd have to take the Friday off. So 4 Mark is 6 weeks away from Siren Sister, and that works out well because it's super close to me, so that would be a 40k. Excellent, so that's, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in. We've got 1 more to get in then. Then I like to have a really, so I am at Invictus for a week and a half in April, so I don't want to schedule anything at the end of April. I'd like to do it before then. And then I've scheduled that Rue has finished his like pre-season prep training at the end of February, so a start of March one would be really good. Let's have a look. Okay, Cannock Chase. That one's super close to me. I really like that ride. It's a little bit tougher, but Rue tackled Red Dragon, he was cool with it, so let's go for that. 5th of March, so that will be our first ride of the season. Okay, so that's all the rides in. So we'll do a 40k on the 5th of March, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, and that's mainly because I've got a gap in the middle because of Invictus. We'll do another 40k in Cheshire, and hopefully that should upgrade us to open. And then, so Siren Sister in July, then we've got Longmynd in August is our backup if we don't manage to complete any of those rides. And then we've got 6 weeks from our backup ride for the Home International, hopefully be selected to represent Wales. That would be my dream season. And then, because blue is my favourite colour, I'm going to highlight all the rides in blue. Because they're on the weekend and my my calendar is actually coloured, it doesn't make much difference, but I'm going to do it anyway. So next, once the rides that I want to do are in, it's time to kind of note down the pony off time. So I will give Rue a week off for every 40k he does. So in Cannock, he'll have a week off after that ride, and then Cheshire will be 40k, so he'll have a week off after that. And then 4 Mark will be an 80k, but probably a 2-day, so he'll probably have a week and a half-ish, maybe 7, 10 days off for that. And then Siren Sister would be the same, because hopefully another 80k, so a week and a half, 2 weeks off of that. Longmynd, I'm not sure what that will be, so it depends on the end of the season, but I'm just going to put a week off for that one. So then, because surprisingly, I have a life outside of horses somewhat, in terms of I like to schedule in weekends with Dan or with my family, or to do non-horsey things, because obviously training takes up the majority of my time. I don't go away for weekends because I want to be training on the weekend and things like that. So every month we schedule in some Dan time, and that, because I plan it in tactically, I like to put at the weekends after a ride where my horse is going to be on rest anyway. So let's put in a few Dan weekends. After I've blocked out a few weekends for non-horsey activities, I then like to work out my annual leave. So I'm a physio, and we do kind of it's an inpatient residential intensive rehab program, and weeks get booked up months in advance. So I can't go to work and say I'd like a Friday off in 6 weeks time, because it's already booked. So I have to be kind of really forward thinking, plan strategically ahead, and put it in the diary quite soon, usually about 6 months ahead, so that I can actually have the time off. So I'm going to plan my annual leave so that I have whole weeks off when the horses are on rest, so me and Dan can go and do stuff, or the whole week off before like the Home International to kind of prep and go up to Scotland, because it's in Scotland this year, and just kind of have a little look at the rides where I might need the Friday off to travel there, or any kind of bits and bobs like that. So we will take the orange highlighter to put in kind of annual leave. Once my rough annual leave is in, we've got non-horsey weekends, we've got horsey competitions, we've got horses time off. I then go and add in the farrier schedule. So in an ideal world, I quite like the horses to be shod 2 weeks before their competition, just because I feel like it kind of settles in. 2 to 1 week, and don't really want any more than 2 weeks. But I also don't want the night before, just in case anything happens and then you don't have any time to sort it out. So 2 to 1 week, 1 to 2 weeks, that was a weird way of saying it, wasn't it? 2 to 1. 1 to 2 weeks before an event, I like to have them shod, and I don't like to overshoe them. I don't like to have the cycle too short, because I don't want so many nail holes in their feet. So this is where I need a few of these, because it's like working out where's best between all of the rides. So if we've got the Home International, ideally I want him to be shod the week before. So let's work back from the Home International. So we go 5 to 6 weeks before then. Would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's shod on the 29th. Once the shoeing cycle is in, and that subject to change on farrier availability as well, and things like that, and shoes that get lost in muddy fields, I like to then put in Tizzy's pleasure rides. So weekends where I'm not away with family or with Dan, weekends where I'm obviously not competing Roo, and just kind of spread it out a little bit. So I try not to have the same travelling kind of fuel costs to get to a ride, entry fees and stuff, too close together. So let's put Tizzy's pleasure rides in. So next year I'd like to do maybe 3 or 4 pleasure rides with Tizzy, just to keep her ticking over. She absolutely loves it, as you know. So let's have a little look what we've got to get some pleasure rides in. Okay, so that is how I do plan A for my season, and obviously I come back to that and it gets changed many times, but it's good for me to have an initial framework. So well done if you've made it this far in the video. I have a little surprise / thank you for all of you that have been watching and supporting our channel. It means so much to us when you comment and put a thumbs up and we get positive feedback, and it really motivates us to carry on and try and do more educational stuff about endurance and just show the life of an endurance rider. So the absolutely wonderful Edwin Bell Designs have given us a £50 off voucher for one of you guys to win. So as you know, if you've been watching the channel, I purchased myself a custom Edwin Bell belt. So this is what mine looks like, and obviously I went for navy and white. He also added an extra little keeper in navy and gold and put a little note in the bag to say that the gold was for good luck for competitions, to kind of hope that we win, which I thought was like the cutest thing ever. So if you're an endurance rider, then you can get the belt designed in your endurance tack colours. So all that you need to do, you need to be obviously subscribed to our channel, and just leave a comment below to say kind of how you found us, your favorite videos, what you'd like to see from us in the future and things, and we will pick someone to spend a £50 voucher on yourself over Christmas time for anything you want on the Edwin Bell Designs website. Thank you so much to the guys at Edwin Bell Designs for giving us the £50 voucher. It's really, really kind of you, and we hope that there will be a nice little gesture of thanks from us for supporting us over the last year and a half. That is how I plan my season. Fingers crossed for a lucky winner for the Edwin Bell Designs voucher. Hope you've had a really lovely 2021, and we'll see you in 2022.